A monochromatic source of light is placed at a distance d from a metal surface. Photoelectrons are ejected at rate n, kinetic energy being E. If the source brought nearer to distance d by 2, the rate and the kinetic energy per photoelectrons becomes nearly. Here, kinetic energy depends on frequency of incident photons. Since the frequency is not changed, the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons remains same at E. Now, the number of photoelectrons emitted is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. The distance has decreased by a factor 2. Hence, the number of photoelectrons emitted should increase by 4 folds. Option C is the right choice. Compton's scattering experiment seems to indicate that radiation has. In Compton's scattering experiment, we have a photon which is going to be incident on an electron at rest. Electron is deflected, showing the particle nature of the electromagnetic waves. You can see the pictorial representation of the Compton scattering experiment here. It proves the particle nature of the electromagnetic waves. Hence, option B is the right choice. Light of frequency 1.5 times the threshold frequency is incident on photosensitive material. If the incident frequency is 2 by 3 times and the intensity is thrice, the photoelectric current becomes. Initially, the frequency of incident photon is 1.5 times the threshold frequency. Finally, the frequency of incident photon becomes 2 by 3 times the initial frequency. Substituting and solving, we will get the final frequency as equal to threshold frequency. That means the photons are able to knock out electron from the metal surface, but they are unable to give the kinetic energy. That is, the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons becomes 0. Since the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons is 0, they are unable to provide any photoelectric current. Hence, the option D is the right choice. A particle of mass phi m at rest decays into two particles of masses 2m and 3m having non-zero velocities. The ratio of de Broglie wavelengths of the particles is. According to law of conservation of linear momentum, we know that initial linear momentum before decay must be equal to final linear momentum after decay. The initial linear momentum is 0. Therefore, the final momentum should be 0. This can happen only when one particle moves in the forward direction and the other particle moves in the backward direction. They should have same linear momentum. That means the magnitude of the linear momentum of the particles after decay should have same magnitude, but their direction should be opposite. The de Broglie wavelength for particles is given by h divided by p, where p stands for linear momentum and h stands for Planck's constant. Since the linear momentum of both the particle is same, their de Broglie wavelength is also going to be same. Therefore, the ratio of de Broglie wavelength will be 1:1. Option D is the right choice. Through what potential difference should an electron be accelerated so that its momentum becomes equal to that of a photon of wavelength 0.5 angstrom? Here, the wavelength of photon is given by P equals h divided by lambda. Substituting, we get photon momentum as 13.2 into 10 to the power minus 24 kg meter per second. To have the same wavelength, the photon momentum and the momentum of electron should be same. That is, electron momentum is equal to photon momentum. The electron momentum in terms of accelerating potential is given by root of 2mev, where m stands for mass of the electron, E stands for charge of the electron, and v is the accelerating potential. Substituting and simplifying, the accelerating potential of electron is found nearer to 600 volt. Option B is the right choice. What should be the velocity of an electron so that its momentum becomes equal to that of a photon of wavelength 0.5 angstrom? Here it is given that the momentum of electron is equal to momentum of photon. The momentum of electron is given by formula root of 2 times mk, where m is mass of the electron, k is kinetic energy of the electron. The photon momentum is given by Planck's constant divided by wavelength of the photon. Substituting and simplifying, we will get kinetic energy of electrons equal to 8.95 into 10 to the power minus 25 meter per second. But the kinetic energy is going to be half mv squared. Solving for v, we would get the answer to be equal to 1.41 into 10 to the power 3 meter per second. Option C is the right choice. What wavelength is corresponding to a beam of electrons whose kinetic energy is 100 electron volt? We have wavelength of electron is given by lambda is equal to Planck's constant divided by linear momentum of electron. The linear momentum of electron can be written in terms of accelerating potential as root of 2mev, where m is mass of electron, E is charge of electron, v is accelerating potential. To have kinetic energy equal to 100 electron volt, the accelerating potential will be 100 volts. We can simplify this formula to get answer directly in terms of nanometer. That is, lambda equals 1.223 divided by root of accelerating potential. If we solve this, we will get the answer for wavelength directly in terms of nanometer. So, the accelerating potential is 100 volt. Solving this, we will get wavelength equal to 1.2 angstrom. Option A is the right choice. If the uncertainty in the position of an electron is 10 power minus 10 meter, then the value of uncertainty in its momentum will be. From the uncertainty principle, we have uncertainty in momentum is equal to h bar divided by uncertainty in position. Here h bar is equal to h divided by 2 pi, where h is Planck's constant. Now substituting, we get the final answer for uncertainty in momentum as 1.05 into 10 to the power minus 24 kg meter per second. Option B is the right choice. The magnitude of de Broglie wavelength of electron, proton, neutron and alpha particle, all having same energy of 1 mega electron volt, in the increasing order will follow sequence. According to the concept of de Broglie wavelength, the wavelength of matter wave is given by h divided by root of 2mk. where m is mass of the particle under motion, k is the kinetic energy of the particle. Here it is given that kinetic energy of all the particles are same. Hence, wavelength is inversely proportional to square root of mass of the particle. More the mass means less the wavelength. We also know that mass of electron is less than mass of proton, is less than mass of neutron, and it is less than mass of alpha particle. Therefore, the wavelength in increasing order is given by wavelength of alpha particle less than wavelength of neutron less than wavelength of proton less than wavelength of electron. Option C is the right choice. The de Broglie wavelength of a neutron at 927 degrees Celsius is lambda. What will be its wavelength at 27 degrees Celsius? According to the kinetic theory of gases, the kinetic energy is directly proportional to absolute temperature of the particle. Here, the ratio of kinetic energy is equal to ratio of the absolute temperature of the body. But remember, the temperature should be in terms of Kelvin. So, converting the temperature into Kelvin scale and solving, we will get K2 by K1 equals to 1 by 4. Now, the concept of de Broglie wavelength will tell us lambda is equal to h divided by root of 2mk. In this case, only temperature is changing, which will change the kinetic energy. All other parameters like h and m are going to be constant. Therefore, wavelength is inversely proportional to root of kinetic energy. Hence, we have lambda 2 divided by lambda 1 equal to root of k1 divided by k2. Substituting and solving, we will get the answer equal to 2. Therefore, wavelength in the second case is twice the wavelength in the first case. We will get answer equal to 2 lambda. Option D is the right choice.